What is going on? Welcome back to another stream. I know it's like 20 to 2 in the morning, but I just wanted to get this stream sort of out of the way, really. Um, it's been a while since I've been live on YouTube, I think, doing one of these streams about what's coming up, and that's sort of really because a few things have been like up in the air and stuff. Some of the things that I've had coming up, like they've not been announced yet, and it was just sort of waiting, and there was no point making a stream about them because I couldn't really say too much about them because they wasn't like announced or released and stuff like that. And there's just quite a few little things that were just sort of up in the air, and I thought now like a couple of things have sort of come to light, and I thought why not do a little bit of a live. But for those of you who know, I stream this because it's just easier for me to stream it. If you watch it now, you watch it now. If you don't kind of thing. It's just so people can watch it after as well. But if I recorded it as a video, I'd have to sit there and wait for it to upload. Whereas like with a stream, YouTube will upload that like automatically, and people can still watch it back. So it just, to me, it uploads just like a video. But if people do want to listen to what I've got to say live while I'm live, then they can go ahead and they can do so. So so this stream is going to be about what's coming up for me music wise. There's some things I can announce to you guys, and there's some things that I want to talk about just in general music wise, what's going to be coming up for me and stuff like that. So so this is why I've come live. So the first thing, which I've been sort of itching and buzzing to announce this for quite some time, I've been invited to do a guest mix on a podcast called the Boston Bounce Sessions podcast. Now, this is by a newly good friend of mine called Ashton, who has done some really wicked bounce remixes. He runs the podcast himself. He used to be a part of Bounce to Your Drop, which they gave me my first paid booking. And he's just a really sound person all round. And he's done a remix of one of my most favourite bounce tunes at the moment. So he remixed a classic like trance and club tune. He did a bounce remix of it. And it's, for me at the moment, it's one of my most favourite bounce tunes in the world at the moment. It's like, I just love playing it. He did a remix of Paffendorf Be Cool, and the remix is just absolutely solid. It almost like nearly replicates the original, but in a bounce version, and it's got so much similarities, but it just sounds so good and fresh at the same time. And then the drop in it is just really good for me. So big ups to Ashton. So he's invited me onto his podcast now. I've known about this for a very long time. He very first said about getting me on the podcast sort of late last year. It was sort of not sort of, I think it was even maybe before Christmas, and then sort of just before Christmas, I think I got like an official confirmation of a little bit more about me going on, and then I recorded the mix that was going to go in the guest mix, and I sent it to him, and then I got some sort of like leaked artwork footage of what the artwork was going to look like, and then I got the official artwork, but I wasn't allowed to post it, and it's just it's something I've wanted to sort of post and announce for ages, because as much as I love like smashing club sets and doing things myself, it's like a really sort of like honour, and I really enjoy going on to like radio shows, and I've never really jumped on a podcast as a guest mix, so it's something for me that is like really good, and it's quite an exciting thing for me, so I'm looking forward to it. So on the 28th of this month, which is going to be a Monday, the Boston Bounce Sessions podcast it drops, and there's some wicked artists on there. So Ashton will be jumping in the mix first. There's a mix from Shanks, there's a mix from Flatline, and there's a mix from a guy called Nelson. I forget his last name, but there's just some really sort of pure talent on this podcast. And what I like about Ashton's podcasts is when he brings them out, there's like different artists on each one, and it's featuring these different artists. And if some of them do produce themselves, then there'll be some of their remixes in their guest mixes. It's just a really good way, and I've got a lot of time and respect for people that sort of like help sort of push people, if that makes sense. So like people who maybe just need that little bit of a push, or have a little bit of a talent and it just needs sort of bringing forward a bit. It's really nice that Ashton gets all these well-known producers and DJs and up-and-comers onto this podcast. So on the 28th, which is a Monday, it's going to release on SoundCloud. So I'll be sharing links onto my Facebook and Instagram. And I want to say that the funny thing about this is when I got the artwork and stuff, I'd been I've been putting it on my Instagram fully. I'd been like putting it on my story, but I'd been like really like more or less cropping it completely out. So there was just a tiny little bit that said Ash Noble. And then I'd put things like, can anybody guess what this is? You know, can anybody guess what I'm doing? Can anybody guess what's coming up? I've got something coming up. What is it? And no one had a clue. No one was, people suggested like different things. I gave like some clues and hints. I said like it's to do with music and DJing, but it's not a gig. However, and I said it's going to include donk and stuff like that. But I just didn't, specifically tell people what it was. And I thought, to be honest with you, I thought there would have been somebody out there that would have like, because if they'd have said like radio show or something, they would have more or less guessed it. And I just don't honestly know why they didn't say, why no one guessed it. I think some people were just being stupid and putting like daft comments. Like, I think someone put like, you're going to go to New York or something, or just something really, really pure and daft. And I just think like, what is the point? Like some people really just do not care, and they just put the daftest, stupidest comments. Like, do you know what I mean? Or something like that. Someone puts, oh, you're going to change your clothes or something, and I just think like, grow up. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I honestly think. Like, grow up. But no one actually physically guessed it though, so it was quite a weird one. Because for me, if it had been somebody else and they were hinting stuff like that, because I'm well sort of like music orientated, I would have thought, right, it's not a gig. It could either be maybe a live stream, or maybe it could be a radio show or something. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that would stick in my head. Maybe, or it could have been like, maybe he's going into a studio with a couple of people. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it was like linking up to do a track with someone. People, like me, I would explore and think of all the sort of like options that it could be. Do you know what I mean? And like, obviously, by reading the hints of like what it isn't, the clues and stuff. But I'm looking forward to it anyway. It's gonna be banging, and I can't wait for you to hear it. I did quite a good mix, really, that went sort of into a few different. Obviously it's bounce, but I sort of like went through sort of like different bounce genres. So like I started off with like bounce remixes of happy hardcore, and then we sort of went remixes of trance tunes, and then we went into sort of like bounce remixes of some like house, and then we went into some like like bounce remixes of like clubland tunes and stuff like that. So it just sort of like went through this little like almost like mixture, like took you on a journey, and it was all like sort of well-known remixes of tunes, and it was just a pleasure, and it was enjoyable to make. So next thing that's coming up for me is a friend of mine, you may know her, DJ Aurora D. She has hit something, I think it was either 15 or 18,000 followers, and she's done so well to get them followers, and she's putting on a little 4-hour live stream, and she wants myself and the layman to come down and be a part of this live stream. So I don't know when it's going to be yet. I don't know when the date is. I don't know what the score is with that. But it's going to be like, it's going to be getting planned. There's like a poster and stuff out, but there's just no like official date yet. But there's going to be like a 4 hour live stream. We're going to come down and we're going to rip it up and smash it up, and we're enjoy the vibe and enjoy the music. I'm going to be MCing, hosting. The layman's going to be hosting. I'm not sure if I'll be DJing at all. I'll have to like find out on the score of that one, because I am partial. Like, I like to do a bit of MCing, but then I do like to jump behind the decks if I can. So I will just find out and inquire if I am able to go just behind the decks and maybe spin for a little bit. Obviously 4 hours is quite a long time, so I don't know if Aurora is wanting to spin tunes for the whole 4 hours, or whether like maybe we'll just sort of like she'll do a couple of hours, and maybe I'll jump on for an hour and then she'll go back on and do the final hour. Who knows? I'm not really sure how it's going to work. I'm not sure who else is going to be there, if it's just me, the layman, and her, or if there's like anybody who's just coming to sit in and watch, or anybody who's maybe just going to have a little mix themselves. That all I know is that her, myself, and the layman, we're doing a 4 hour live stream, and I'm quite looking forward to it. There was a little bit of there was a little bit of drama not too long back, and there was some stuff going on, and I was a resident for one of their pages, and sadly, my bad Dubai, I left that page. Now, I only left the page because I didn't want to get dragged into any drama. There was just a bit of confusion with what was going on, and I don't like to get involved in things. I don't like to be involved in any like arguments and drama. So I just sort of left and went on to do my own things, and sort of left the arguments to the arguments. But there was a little bit of misunderstanding because I left, I think, and people thought I was leaving out of badness, and but I only physically left because I didn't want to be involved with the drama. So I'm not too sure how the live stream's going to go down, because a few things have happened and gone on, and then people see I'm there doing a live. But let's just smash it, enjoy the good vibes, and then let's just obviously see how it goes down. Obviously, as you all know, I'm booked for the Core Vibes in March, so it's the 11th of March, which is quite a wicked thing. Now, there is a little bit of some sort of like, I don't really know how to say this, but that weekend is going to be one hell of a special weekend, whatever goes down. Now, I say this lightly because we've got the Core Vibes on the Friday, and I'm sadly missing Uprising for that, because I was originally going to Uprising just to rave and enjoy the night, and sadly this booking with the Core Vibes, it got pushed forward, and it just sadly got pushed to that date. The following day is a Bounce to Your Drop night. Now, I'm not actually playing this Bounce to Your Drop. Now, when I streamed a couple of, I think it was the last stream, I said that there was an event on that day that I was possibly going to be playing, but I wasn't certain. I got confirmation that I wasn't going to play this night, that, they was just making the lineups a little bit different. They said, I'll be back playing again. But they welcomed me to come down to the event. And, they said, come down and have a drink, and, still attend, and, show your face and come and see us, and stuff like that. And I thought, what, fair enough. And I mean, if I was putting a night on, I'd probably do the same. I wouldn't want the same people all the time. You want people to come to a fresh new night and not seeing the same sort of faces all the time. So, I understood. So I thought, what, yeah, but I'll still come down, and, I'm looking forward to it. It's a belting lineup. And then, sadly, well, it's not sadly just yet, but to cut the story short, a brand called Deviation announced that they was doing a competition. Now, I'd never heard of this brand before, and it was actually a sub-brand of a big bounce brand called Sanctuary, and they put on a competition apparently every year where they give up-and-coming DJs and MCs the opportunity to play at a big night on like a big stage in front of like big people. So what I'm aware that happens is they pick, I believe they pick 8 winners, and the winners play the room 2 of a sanctuary night, the finalists, and then I think they get judged upon from there. So they get judged at like a sanctuary night, and then whoever wins the competition will go on to play the main stage at a future event. So obviously I've entered this competition, I've put my forward, did a nice banging little donk mix with a little bit of hard house in there as well at the beginning, and anyway, to cut the story short, the finalists, the next round, if you like, takes place on that same day as the bounce till you drop. So obviously we're going to go to Birmingham on the Friday, and then the ability, obviously, if I get through in this competition, that we're going to be driving to Blackpool on the Saturday, which is just an absolutely crazy thing because Birmingham's quite a far journey in itself, and then Blackpool is also like an even further journey. So it's going to be like a crazy one. It's going to be like a crazy weekend that weekend, and obviously, you know, I don't want to turn down the Core Vibes booking, and if I get through in the competition, I don't obviously want to miss the opportunity to play in the finals. So it's going to be a bit of a mad weekend, that one, and I'm just hoping that Lee, who actually drives me to these, and you know, he's booked for the Core Vibes himself, but obviously I'm hoping, you know, if I bung a little bit of fuel money his way, he'll take me to the competition, so I can play in the finals, and he can watch me play at this bounce night in the finals. But obviously, I'm just hoping he realises that, you know, we're going to drive to Birmingham on the Friday, come back home quite late, you know, because obviously it's a drive in itself, you know, even if we don't stay like right till the end of the night, it's still going to be like a longish drive back, so we're still going to get back quite late. And then obviously driving to Blackpool, it's not the closest place either, so we're going to have to set off, and we're going to do another road trip the following day after a late night. So I'm just hoping he does sort of know what's at stake. Now, originally, if we was going to bounce to your drop, it's like half an hour from where I live. So we would have obviously, like, you know, we wouldn't have gone till like night. So we would have probably set off about, I don't know, maybe 10:30, maybe a little later, because obviously I'm not playing, so it won't matter as such, you know, about getting there for a Pacific time. But you know, obviously going to Blackpool, it's a bit of a further drive. But this competition, they were supposed to announce the winners tonight. They were supposed to announce, well, the finalists. They were supposed to announce them tonight. They've not actually announced them, so I'm a little bit like, you know, because obviously, like, I'm not one of these people. I'm not like a big-headed person, and I'm not one of these, like, you know, if I don't get through, I'm not going to get like really disappointed and gutted. And, you know, like, obviously I'll be gutted because, you know, my aim is to get through. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I gave it a go, and that's the thing that makes me, you know, makes me happy, that I've obviously given it a go. But the annoying thing is not knowing, you know, like, because obviously, like, you know, when I first entered, you know, we didn't know when the comp was closing, so it was just like we enter it and that was it, you sort of wait. But then when you sort of, you know, when it's like, they said they were going to announce it Sunday evening, so it's the evening and you're checking the page, and, you know, like, it's just, you know, like, I want to know if I've got through or not. And that's the thing that's kind of like annoying, you know, knowing whether you've got through or not. So it's just a waiting game. So I think we'll probably find out tomorrow. There must just have been a little bit of a delay or something. But that I'm aware of, I think 8 people are gonna get through. So there's and we're gonna play in the room 2 at this sanctuary night. Absolutely belting. So I can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, if I do get through, if I don't get through, I've actually just recorded a mix for another competition tonight. Now, I'm a little bit skeptical about this one because I've just recorded a really banging mix and I'm really happy with it. But they announced that they a competition, but they didn't announce competition details. So I'm not sure, like, because sometimes you do a competition and they say like record a 30-minute mix, but I've actually recorded a 49-minute mix. So I'm kind of thinking to myself like, I hope it's not too long. But I've recorded it because I had like it was in my mind and I had like tunes in my mind and I had stuff on my brain that I'm thinking like I want to play that, I'm gonna play that. And I just had this idea to me that I thought if they hear this as an entry, they'll think it's a good entry. Like it really does take you on a journey, and it's quite a banging mix to be honest with you. And this is for Critical Beats, and Critical Beats are like a new brand that have been doing quite well lately. And they've got the Critical Beats first birthday, which will be coming up this year, and I think that's what the competition's for. So we might not be playing till maybe like August time or something like that. I can't even remember when the first Critical Beats was. I know it came about last year, um, but anyway, you know, I guess what you can say, you know, the moral of the story is they're announcing a comp. I just knew it was something I wanted to get my sort of like teeth into. I had ideas for my comp entry already, so I just hit the record and it turned out well. So I think they'll like it, and I think they'll accept that it maybe did just go a little bit over, but we'll just find out. We'll just see. But obviously, I won't be posting anything yet until the competition details obviously go up, and then I'll get my competition uploaded, and obviously I'll do what I need to do to get it up. But at the moment I've recorded it. I can listen to it. See, I can just sort of keep listening to it and make my mind up if I really do like it. But at the moment, I do think it is a banging mix, and I do think there's some really good sort of like features for the mix. All I'm going to tell you is about 6 tracks in 10 minutes. So I've done quite a bit of quick mixing. I've done something at the beginning which I'm a little bit skeptical about. It's something that I wanted to do for a while, to start off like a competition entry mix, but because this is going to be for hardcore, I've like wanted to sort of wait for my moment to do it, and I wanted to sort of like wait for where I thought it would be the right sort of like environment and the right brand to do it, because what I've done a lot of people are quite skeptical about, and especially around our area. A lot of people like the sort of like the more like the sort of like less cheese. They like the more hard trance. They like the Nats and the ELL and the Uprising days. And they're not, and a lot of people like didn't really like what Gamma did when he came into the hardcore, and when he was doing all his Essential Platinum stuff, and let's just say when he like dubstepped things, and when he changed things up a little bit, and when we started hearing like elements of like other genres. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, people. I don't know. There's some of my phone at the moment. It's playing up, and every now and again, everything just turns off. Like so, like Wi-Fi, data, Bluetooth, like everything just literally turns off. It goes into some like power mode or something. I think I've maybe knocked something. But as I was saying, so I've done something a little bit different at the beginning of this mix. I wanted to do it for a while, but I've been skeptical because, like I say, like round our area, it's sort of like dubstep and all these like cheesier stuff and this different style of stuff doesn't always go down too well. There a lot of people like the classics, the early hard style, the early like Psy and Unknown hardcore, and like all the as I say, when Gamma started adding like dubstep things, and people didn't like that Darren Styles commercialized the hardcore and stuff from what it was, and when he did stuff like Save Me, it wasn't people's cup of tea, even though it must have done well to get commercialized. So for me, I do like my cheese. I'm a sucker for a cheese tune, but I like to switch up and do different things, and I like elements of other genres. in my mixes, and that's what I like to add. So I love a hardcore mix that'll have like break beats in it, drum and bass drops, dubstep drops, hardstyle drops, heavy drops, rolling basses, as opposed to like one hardcore mix that just sort of like not sounds the same all the way through, but just doesn't have that same simple kick and bass. Do you know what I mean? I do like things to go a little bit dubby and a little bit mashed up, and I do like things to get a little bit twisted in my mixes. Just me personally, who I am. So I've done something at the beginning. I did take inspiration from Gamma from this, so I can't take full credit for it. I did put a video of me doing it on my YouTube channel. I did it about a year ago, and it's a little bit of a almost like a bit of a live sort of mashup, and it's just a little something that I like to do. And I saw Gamma do it on video, and I thought I want to try and recreate this. So I had a go at recreating it. There is another one he's done, and I do want to recreate that one as well, but I just haven't found out how to do it yet. Like, I'm just still trying to learn how to do it, but it is something that I have wanted to do for quite a while. This one, the beginning of this mix, and I'm just hoping it makes the mix a little bit different to maybe push myself and give myself that little bit of extra sort of like chance of maybe sort of going through in the mix in the comp. And then obviously throughout the mix, there's just all different things going on. There's just different drops and different feelings, and a lot of the tunes are still well known as well. So like, you will listen to them, and you would know them as well. If you are like a hardcore fan, or even if you're not, there's some tunes in there, some remixes that you'd know, like from maybe the trance scene and stuff like that. So all I'm saying is keep an eye out. That will be dropping very soon. And also on the 21st of May, we have Stomping with Kakuma Live. I'm going to be playing down in the room too, so I'm looking forward to doing that one. I'm looking forward to playing that one again, so I'll be back down in the room too. Going to be ripping it up. And also Stomping, they're putting a free rave on at the end of March. Now, I believe it's going to be the owner of Stomping's birthday. I think this is what it's in aid of. Now, I'm not certain if I'm going to be playing yet. It's not something that I've been asked to do yet. I've not been asked if I'm going to play it yet, so maybe I won't be playing it. I'm not certain. I've been playing them lately, like I've been playing downstairs. I don't know if the downstairs is going to be open for this one. I don't know, if it's going to be finally my first time of maybe gracing the upstairs. I haven't, in all fairness, got too much of a clue, to be honest with you. All I know is that they're putting on a free rave towards the end of March for birthday celebrations, and I think, I just need to wait and hear if I'm going to play or not. If I get asked, I get asked. Obviously, I'll be going, and maybe I'll even grace the mic, who knows. But all I know is I've been asked as of yet. I just know that there's like plans of a little free party. Obviously, it's no skin off my shoulder to play. Like, I don't live far. I've got a USBs full of tunes, so if they wanted me upstairs, I could soon put an upstairs set together. If there was having a downstairs, which again, it is only like a free little free little rave, so I know it's not to be as like big and as mainstream as like the normal stompings where you see the two rooms and all the artists. But all I'm going to say is I might get asked, I might not get asked. At this point, it's a little bit like the bounce to your drop. I could be playing, I could not be playing. It's one of them. But obviously I will be playing with them in May. I know I am due to grace the upstairs at some point. I know they have said that I will be doing an upstairs set at some point. They've been enjoying my stuff downstairs though, which is why I've been playing downstairs. But I don't mind playing downstairs. I've loved it. I think for the May one, we are gonna go because the sort of like last sort of 2 to 3 stompings, I've done this kind of like sort of like a bit more sort of like EDM-y sort of hard house where it's gonna again it some of it goes a little dubby, some of it just goes a little bit some sort of like biggish sort of drops. I think with the one in May, I think I'm gonna go for like a bit more of a classic hard house set. So we're gonna go like a bit more sort of like say like BK, maybe like a vinyl groover, maybe Wid and Ben, that sort of thing. Paul Maddox, that them kind of sort of tunes, as opposed to the like Andy Whitby's and Club Fillers and Cali Gage and a few more sort of like I guess like newer stuff maybe. We'll have some older stuff. Sorry, but we'll have to see what goes down with that one. I'm not totally sure. It's quite a way off. They might want me to play something. I did play bounce at the last one. I started off with a few bounce tunes, and that was just personally. That was just me. I wanted to play them. I wanted to see what they'd sound like. I wanted to play. I'd bought quite a lot of new ones, and I just wanted to see how they'd sound. And I think they do prefer it when I do the more like the hard house sets down there. But I was quite happy because I did get a woman behind, well, a couple of women behind the bar singing and enjoying the vibe. And one of them even come over and said, "Can you play more stuff like this?" And because they was enjoying it, they were singing along, they was getting ready for work. I was on the first set, so people are just starting to come in at this point, and it was just one of them, where it's sort of like, it was just, it was nice to sort of warm them up while people was coming in. But then, obviously, because I'm supposed to start at 8, but if they get the downstairs set up like in time and early, then I usually go on a little earlier. So it was nice just to warm up for like half an hour or so with these bounce tunes. And like I say, people are just starting to come in. The night's just starting, so then when it hits like that 8 o'clock and a few more people are coming in, we switched to the hard house, and it did actually work quite well playing the bounce just while people were just the first sort of few were coming in, just a little something just to warm up and get me in the mood for this hard house set that I'm gonna play. So I was looking forward to it, but it's just one of them. It's just one of them. They wanted me to change from the bounce, so I did. But I just really, there was some new tunes. I just wanted to try them out. I wanted to play them out because I do want to play more bounce nights, believe it or not, because I've been enjoying my bounce lately. It's been fun to mix. It's been enjoyable to do. So I've just been very like, let's do it kind of thing. But anyway, so up to now, that is it. One thing I can tell you, I can't really tell you too much, but all I've been told is something big is coming. So I don't know what it is. My good friend Lee, he keeps hinting something. I don't know what it is, but he's like he's almost like sort of winding me up with it. Like, because he keeps hinting, he says like, you don't know what's coming, and obviously he has an idea of what it is, and he's just waiting for like full confirmation. But he's like, you're not gonna believe it, and he's like, you want to smash it, you're gonna smash it. So I'm not sure what it's gonna be. I've got no clue. Could be anything for all I know. I've got a couple of things in mind. A little something popped up on Facebook, and it did make me think. I wonder, if this is something I might be a part of. As I do know that something's going to be happening a bit later on in the year. But I'm just not really sure. I'm just not completely certain. But all I do know is that there is something coming. There is something big. I don't know when it is or where it is or what it is. I just know that something's coming, and all I have to do is sit patiently. He's been sworn to secrecy, so he can't tell me what it is. And part of me like wants him to tell me what it is. Part of me doesn't, because if I know, it's kind of like gonna spoil the surprise. Like part of me would rather just see like a flyer and my name be on it and then be like, holy, because when I first got asked about bounce to your drop, what I will tell you is all I knew is there was a friend of mine had a friend who was putting a bounce night on, and my friend had put my name forward, and all I knew is that there was a possibility I was going to be doing this bounce night. I had no clue what it was. There was no indication. I'd seen no page or post. All I knew is that there was going to be a bounce night in Scunthorpe, and I was going to be playing it. And I just didn't know. And then all of a sudden, one Tuesday night, there was a flyer that got dropped into my inbox, and boom, there was club filler, John Neal, Charlie Bosch, and I was just like blown away. So I'm kind of hoping that in some sense, like with whatever's to come this year, I'm kind of hoping it's a similar thing where like I just sort of see this flyer and then I'm like, whoa, blown away, or whatever it may be. All I know is that I've got to like sort out bars as well. So I believe it is going to involve like miking and stuff as well, but I'm not certain. But anyway, apart from that, that is like everything that I have coming up at the moment. There's something else coming up as well, but there's been no flyer for it yet. But the flyer's due to drop anytime soon, so I'll be sure to like come live and let you guys know once that drops. It was supposed to be dropping on Saturday, but it must not. Well, they said that they was hoping it was going to drop Saturday. It was one of these things that I got asked to do it ages ago, and then the date got changed for it. The date got actually brought forward, I think only just by a week or something like that. And then I didn't hear anything else, and it actually got to the point where I was wondering if this was still going ahead. And then next thing I'm added to a group chat for the event, and it was like the flyer should be dropping on the Saturday, but then it obviously didn't. So I'm not sure fully what's going on or what's going down, but all I do know is that something's going to be happening. I've got a bit like I know it's a good night for me. I'm looking forward to playing it. I just there's just no official artwork yet. So but keep your eyes peeled. Like, comment, and share. We'll see you guys next time.